Il Presidente era impegnato, ma abbiamo la valida presenza della dottoressa Leonie Malman.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation, Mr. President, Mr. DeSantis, dear members of Parliament, dear ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for having me here. As DeSantis said, our President is sorry, but he cannot be here today. He has an urgent appointment in Germany he has to attend to. But he sent me here, and I'm very happy to be with you. And it's a pleasure to have a debate with you about this topic, because in Germany, pain is quite a big topic for us in different ways. And I just want to give you a quick insight of our debates and discussions in Germany. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to ask me, and I hope the translation is good. I was very satisfied with the English one. It was perfect. Thank you very much. So as you can imagine, it's the same situation in Germany that you have. In Germany, we have the same situation like you in the other European countries. We have more and more elderly people who we have to care for, and most of them need for quite a long time long-term care, whether in residential homes or at their home with nursing care services. And most of these elderly people, they have different diseases. When they come into care, it's not that they have just one disease you have to care of. They are multi-morbid, as we say in German. And so you have to handle as a care staff with different diseases. And they come along mostly with pain. So most of those people who are cared have a pain problem. And therefore, you need a strategy in your care home and your nursing services to cope with those patients and help them to have a good care and have a stability of life and a good quality of life. Especially people with dementia, how Malara said, are not that easy to care of, because you just don't know if they are in pain. Our symptoms are caused by dementia, like they're wandering around, they're aggressive, they're depressive, and you cannot tell, okay, have I a patient with some pain now, an acute pain and chronic pain? And it's getting even worse when patients lose their ability to verbally communicate with you. So you need other instruments than speech to recognize if the patient is in pain or not. So common scales, as Marla just said, I don't know, so sorry. They cannot be used on these patients because they don't consider the specific needs of the dementia people. In Germany, we have strongly controlled quality management of home care. Once a year, authorities of the health insurance come to the home care residents or controlling the nursing services, and they control how your quality management is, and they're checking on different topics. One topic of it is pain. So, in Germany we have these called expert standards. When the health insurance comes once a year, they're checking if you are taking into consideration the standards who are given by the experts of different topics, care topics. It's an expertise, so it's not obligatory to fulfill all these standards, but when the health insurance comes to control you, you have to prove that you in some way follow these standards. You can do it individually, but you have to reconsider this topic the experts have given. So as I said, one of these standards is on pain. It was first released in 2004, And this standard didn't differentiate between acute pain and chronic pain. They said pain is pain. It's the same, whether it's acute or it's chronic. It's the same feeling for the patient and at that moment to have that pain. No matter if it stays for weeks, months, or years. So this changed, and a few years ago the experts started to discuss it again, the topic, and they decided to do two standards and to differentiate between acute pain and chronic pain, because it's not the same. So it's a bit of a discussion with experts at the moment in Germany, whether you put together all these pain tragedies or to divide it into acute and chronic pain. At the moment we have these two standards. So for elderly people in long-term care, it's mostly to work with the expert standard of chronic pain, because most of them suffer of pain for a longer period than it's acute. The standard of chronic pain was released this year. It started in May, it was published. And so this is quite new. There are experts who have some criticism about this expert standard. They say it's too general, it's not given any programs, no specific instruments for the home care residentials or the nursing care services. So this expert standard is like a baseline that gives you orientation, and you can decide how you manage to implement it into your home care. So to say it's like a frame, and you fill it with life in your organization. This is a chance and a challenge. On the one hand, it's a chance because you have the freedom to individualize the concept for your own organization and enterprise. But it's a challenge, on the other hand, because you don't have any rules you can follow. You have to design your own concept and implement it. And so it's freedom on the one side, and the thing on the other side is, okay, you have this standard and you're consulted once a year, so the health insurance comes and control it, and you have to prove how you did it. Yeah, so the freedom is not that big. As an organization, an association for home care services in Germany, we represent 9,000 organizations in Germany, so we are the biggest association for care in Germany. And we provide for our members some help to install and implement those standards, to help them to get through this orientation frame. And I just want to show you quickly an example how we can help our members to implement this concept. So, I'm sorry, but it's in German, but I just want to show you the structure of it, so you have an impression what we give our members to help them to provide a pain concept in their care homes. So, this is a tool we give to our members exclusively. It's for residential home cares and for ambulant nursing services. And we divide this standard and make it individual for the residence ones and for the ambulant ones. The one you see is for the ambulant part, because the one for the residential ones starts at the end of the year. We are still in process to publish a thing like this for the stationary care. So this is an example of the ambulant part, and you see this is a paper which is part of an, we call it quality handbook, which gives orientation for all the members of us. And it explains what is the standard about. What have the experts said? What is the guidance line? And first of all, the expert standard of pain says you need an individual concept. It's not the aim to have one concept for all patients, but to individualize for every person a pain concept that you have to care. So to prevent pain and to prevent crisis of all kind of people, not only dementia patients, but all patients. So what you see here is a division of what do you have to do in the structure of your home care, what is the process, and what is the result. So we describe what has the staff to do, what has the enterprise to do. The enterprise is giving the frame, which is filled in with the work of the staff. So if the staff hasn't the right frame to work in, or the time for patients, it cannot handle the situations. So it's a challenge for the enterprise as well to make the concept and give the freedom to the staff to implement it. So this is structure, process, and result. And it tells the members in each step how to follow the expert standard and make sure, if you're controlled once a year by the health insurance, that you can present a concept which is state-of-the-art and guarantees you a good care for your patients. So, as Albert just said, it's very hard when you get patients into care who cannot communicate with you. Because Albert just presented, we have it here as well, the scale, the numeric scale. You see it here. It was the same scale you presented. So when you get a patient who can normally communicate with you verbally, you just ask, have you pain? Where is your pain? How long has it been there? Is it getting stronger? Is it getting weaker? Do you think you need some drugs? Maybe a change of drugs? Shall we consult a therapist, a pain therapist, or what shall we do? So that's the first, if you have a patient you can communicate with. You can also ask the relatives. It's not only the patients you ask the relatives as well. Okay, well, how was the situation at home? What is a sign of pain? As you said, Alba, people act differently when they are in pain. Some get aggressive, some get depressive. So it's various how pain can be shown. So it's very useful to have the knowledge. What kind of person do you have in front of you? What's its biography? Was there a lot of pain? Was there surgery? How is he coping with it? So you can take this scale. But what do you do when you have a patient who cannot communicate? Or you don't have relatives who can tell you? Yeah, you sit there and say, okay, what am I going to do now? And in Germany we are oriented at one scale, which is called the ECPA. It comes from France. I don't know if you know it. It's Échelle comportementale de la douleur pour personnes âgées non communicantes. So it means it's a scale which is published especially for people you cannot communicate with. So similar to the research Alba did, and the scale you have for the 5 dimensions. The ECPA scale, you see it here, is a scale especially for people without verbal communication, means especially for people with dementia. And you have different dimensions here with different items. The first of all is to observe. Yeah, to observe how is the patient acting, is something different, what changes, what's he doing, is he, like you said, ouching, screaming, making faces. So you read the gesture, the mimic, and to find out changing behavior, which might be caused by pain. So this is an instrument we give to our members, which is based on the expert standard, to make sure they have a tool to implement when they have these patients who cannot communicate. So as I said, it's mostly observing the patients, and you see these different items. I'm sorry that it's so small, but I think we cannot stretch it. And it's a lot of specific questions this nursing staff has to answer. So maybe, is the patient restless? How's the mimic? How's the gesture? Did it change to the behavior yesterday? So just to have a quite good picture of the patient and its behavior. So this is the one you use when you have a patient you cannot communicate with. The scale just gives you an imagination if the patient could be in pain or not. You cannot tell how strong the pain is, yeah, and that's a big problem, yeah, because you can see outer signs, but you cannot see inside the person and tell, okay, this is a really strong pain, or this is a dementia symptom, and the pain is not that strong. So we have no objective tool to measure pain, and as Alba said, pain is very subjective. Yeah, so the pain level, the strongest of pain varies, and every patient reacts differently on pain. The ECPA scale is filled in for days following, so you don't do it just once and then leave it. You repeat it for a few days, so you get to know the patient and who cared of this person for at least 2 or 3 days, so he knows him already or her, is filling this form out. So it's not a new staff coming, doesn't know the person, and starts observing, and he has no comparison to it. So it's said it's only done by staff who know the person and do regularly observing of his patient. So this is one tool we give to our members, and here's one checking list you can see, which is used when the person comes into your care home or gets care by your nursing service. And you see here it's a documentary. When you first see the person, is he in pain? Does she take drugs? What kind of drugs? What is the medication? Is the pain standard or is it various? Does it come in waves? So that's a documentary tool we give to our members to use to assess the pain. From our opinion, can we switch to the PowerPoint again? The key, okay, here we are. For us, the key for a good and extensive pain management It's not regulation. It's more to have a frame where you have time for the patient. Yeah, it cannot be that you have one standard regulated tool where all your patients have to go through and you just click, okay, pain, no pain, strong, not strong. That's not how it works. It has to be individual. So we need more time for our nursing staff to care about these patients, to get to know them, especially when they cannot verbally communicate and you have to find other ways to reach them. And chronic pain has always a history. So you have to know the biography to understand the pain, because when it's chronic, since when it's there, how strong it is, and what kind of medical treatment, was it changed in the past, you have to find out and find the right treatment for the moment. So for every patient, you have to take the specifics of its life into consideration and find pain management which fits this person and is not a standard program for everyone. Not reconsidering which kind of pain he or she is in. So what else do we do for our members to get to know more about pain and pain concepts? We have additionally trainings. We have the so-called agent of pain or pain nurse concept. Maybe you know the one, the training for the palliative care nurses. It's similar to this. So you have a 6 days training where they learn everything about pain, acute pain and chronic pain, ways of communication, ways of pain management strategies, legal regulations, and documentary methods. The training of the agent of pain, as we call it, or pain nurse, emphasis on the pain management with people with dementia. So this is a big topic in this training, to have a pain concept for people who cannot verbally communicate. And those nurses, agent of pain or pain nurse, they are qualified to consult their colleagues as well. So they are not going back to their care home and just isolated use their knowledge, but they should go back and tell all the other colleagues of the concepts, of the documents, of the tools there are to use and how to implement it into the specific care home that you have. This is the thing we do for our members on the side of the expert standards. And next to that, there are little political activities on that topic, which we are part of. We are very actively involved in the political debates and discussions at the moment, because dementia is a big topic for our government. We have this demographic strategy of the government, and dementia is one big topic of this demographic strategy. So the government and various federal ministries, some of them, and all the major associations for care and medicine in Germany, they came together and started a task group based on a, we all signed an agreement, and it's called the AG Allianz for people with dementia. So it's an alliance where all the organizations said, okay, we have to do special things for those special people with special needs. And this is a very highly and strongly focused project, and we are part of it from the beginning. And to improve the medical supply, the care supply for dementia people, And one of the topics there as well is the pain management for those people. It's very close if you have pain management or care management for dementia people. You get very close to the sector of caring for people who have a palliative care need. So we have another task group. It's also started from the biggest associations in Germany and is supported by several ministries. And we're all trying to get a national strategy for patients with palliative needs. And the people with dementia are reconsidered in this strategy as well. So you have a cross-check between both task forces to make sure that in every strategy you follow, you reconsider the needs of the people with dementia and the elderly people who come into your care homes and need palliative care. The highest aim in all those strategies is to have a pain-free patient. Yeah? So even when we are talking about palliative care, it's not the aim to extend life for 3 or 4 days under pain, but to give drugs to make sure the patient is pain-free, even if it means to shorten the life for a few days. So drugs like morphine, etc. For us, it's very important that you cannot reach such an aim alone. And as you said with your research, it's always needed that you have a network, people working together. Because when you're one home care residential or a nursing service, you need to have allies. You need to have a pain therapist, you need physicians, and you need a whole network to make sure that you have an extensive pain management, not just a small pain management in your home care, but to make it really extensive and to become a pain-free patient. And you have to consider the relatives of the patients. So especially in the palliative care, we always talk not about the patient only, but the patient and his or her relatives. So that's the most focus for us. And that's the actual debate at the moment. So we have this 2 strategies. We follow on the political activity side to improve the care of dementia people with pain and palliative needs. Yeah. Thank you. And if you have any questions, you're welcome.
E lasciamo libero campo alle vostre domande.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Presidente, salve, sono Gianmario Battaglia dell'Osservatorio sull'uso dei sistemi ADR. Buongiorno a tutti. La ringrazio innanzitutto, Presidente, dell'invito. Noi siamo molto onorati di aver partecipato oggi a questo importante dibattito. È molto interessante quello che noi oggi abbiamo appreso. Noi ci occupiamo di sistemi alternativi di risoluzione delle controversie. Riteniamo che un progetto di così grande importanza, di così grande portata, necessiti soprattutto di un coinvolgimento da parte delle famiglie dei pazienti per evitare che vi possano essere dei problemi poi successivi di natura giuridica, di natura legale, perché sicuramente qui parliamo della qualità della vita dei pazienti. Quindi sarà molto interessante, credo, una forma di tutela, di prevenzione da parte delle stesse strutture nel momento in cui decidono questo tipo di governance, dove le famiglie dei pazienti possano partecipare al processo di governance e quindi evitare eventuali conflitti che indubbiamente per buona fede o malafede, ripeto malafede, potrebbe avvenire. Grazie.
Grazie Gianmarco. Tu sai perfettamente che Anaste ed Eco, sensibili a queste problematiche, hanno già insieme a voi sottoscritto un protocollo d'intesa per fare una ADR Eco o Eco ADR e Anaste ADR. Stiamo programmando, cioè riempiendo di contenuti il contenitore. Ne è cosciente il board dell'Eco, al quale ha aderito a questa iniziativa, e a breve, presumo entro l'anno, pubblicheremo insieme a voi le regole e lo statuto per poter procedere a questa grande iniziativa. C'era una domanda del vicepresidente vicario Paolo Moneti, vicepresidente vicario di Anaste. Grazie Paolo.
Buongiorno, io ho una domanda a Alba, volevo sapere se esistevano lavori internazionali di un numero di pazienti superiore a 1000 rispetto a quello fatto da Anaste, e al Presidente come pensiamo di far intervenire anche gli altri 6 paesi europei a questo tipo di lavoro. Grazie.
Grazie Paolo per la domanda. Sì, esiste una indagine però che ha arruolato più di 1000 pazienti, quasi 2000 pazienti. È un lavoro che è stato pubblicato comunque non più di qualche anno fa, ma la modalità dell'espletamento della realizzazione del lavoro era diversa dalla nostra. Innanzitutto non era stato fatto esclusivamente sulle strutture residenziali, ma abbracciava anche una quota di pazienti residenti a domicilio. E poi era stato fatto più che altro un sondaggio verbale, quindi non sono stati utilizzati degli strumenti specifici. La differenza del lavoro che noi proponiamo è quello di creare comunque delle linee guida. Delle linee guida è ambizioso come progetto, comunque delle raccomandazioni affinché all'interno delle strutture si abbiano delle procedure operative, né più né meno, come guida, come impostazione di base per poter procedere in maniera anche condivisa nel management del dolore. E ci auguriamo di pubblicare presto il nostro, quello sì.
Grazie alla domanda Paolo. Dunque noi abbiamo fatto una riunione a Lisbona e il board ha accettato di fare all'unanimità questa piattaforma europea del dolore. Di conseguenza procederemo, e già ieri Alba ha preso contatti con il Portogallo. Cominciamo dal Portogallo. Lei partirà, farà formazione per 2 giorni in Portogallo alle persone, dai medici, infermieri e operatori sociosanitari che faranno i rilievi. Per cui procederemo poi probabilmente con la Germania e con l'Inghilterra, anche se l'Inghilterra ha già una propria scheda, ma lei e Martin Green stanno vedendo di unificarla. Credo che occorrerà tempo indiscutibilmente, ma a livello europeo, con l'interessamento dei parlamentari che avete visto, avete sentito qual è l'interesse a portare avanti questo discorso, sicuramente forse faremo le linee guida europee. Questo è importante. C'è la Spagna, chiedo scusa, sì. Adesso tocca a Joao, datemi un attimo di tempo, c'è una scaletta, la rispettiamo, e nei tempi e nei modi. Adesso parla il presidente del Portogallo, il carissimo amico Joao, che è qui vicino a me, Joao, bellissimo nome. C'è anche la segretaria del Portogallo, Ana Paula, che mandiamo un applauso perché è così attiva, fattiva. Grande supporto all'Eco e grande supporto al Portogallo. Grazie Anna Paola. Prego Joao.
Good morning. Just a few words in English. I don't speak Italian. My English is not much better, but I will try to do my best. I want to salute President DeSantis for this initiative. It's very important, and Portugal is very willing to do the same survey in Portugal. We don't know what is happening in care homes in Portugal. It's a big mystery. So we must start to know what happens. There are plenty of subjects to be studied, and especially to improve the quality of care in our care homes. The level of our care is very low, and we must improve that level. It's urgent, because the elderly are coming to our care homes much more with much more age, much more sick and much more fragile and dependent. So the situation in Portugal is much worse than 5 or 6 years ago and today. So I think it's very important for Portugal, it's very important for ECHO to go ahead with this project, because we must concern about the elderly, but we must concern also about the public image of care homes, at least in Portugal. The public image is very, very bad, and this initiative can contribute to improve that image, public image, to demonstrate we care about business, but we care about elderly people that are with us. Thank you.
Grazie Joao per il tuo contributo, sempre attivo, presente. Devo dire, sei un pilastro della ECO. Io ti ringrazio per il tuo sostegno e la tua collaborazione. Bene, adesso passiamo la parola alla dottoressa Bianca Ferraiolo, del Senior Project Manager di Cittadinanza Attiva Europea.